The spiritual flip-flop concept is a concept based on the idea that humans have inverted the original intent of spirituality. This concept might come as a surprise to the majority of the human race in reference to the spirit world being the real world. The spirit realm is more colorful compared to the physical realm. It consists of positive energy and vibrates at a faster rate. The physical universe is dense, vibrating at a much slower velocity, and it's definitely an imitation of the spirit realm. Occasionally, the physical realm appears charming because it allows us to catch fleeting glimpses and images of the spirit world. When we dream, we visit this realm believing it's only a dream. Yet when we awaken, we're still unaware we've just visited our true origin. The lure of the physical world has charmed humans for millenniums into believing this is the ultimate and the only existence. As a result, what matters the most is acquiring things to accommodate the physical life as opposed to embracing our spiritual side. What I mean by this statement is that material gain has been placed above and beyond seeking spiritual awareness. Insatiable greed, combined with justified selfishness, has permeated our lives to the degree of becoming the norm. As an example, why would one person feel the need or desire to acquire more money than they could ever spend in 2 lifetimes? Maybe it's because most of us believe that we are only physical beings, therefore giving less attention to our spiritual needs. Some of us have drifted so far away from our spirit nature that everything and everyone is perceived as separate. In our everyday routine, we view situations around us as not being connected to our lives. People say many things confirming this fact. Here's an example of what I mean. That situation doesn't concern me. We, them, theirs, ours, I, me, mine. This is not my problem. Words and statements of this nature represent a disconnection from other people and situations in our street, in our city, and the world. We are all connected by one source. This source was recognized and identified by other enlightened beings since the beginning of time. Buddha, Christ, Allah, and countless others have tried to reveal so vehemently that we are all connected by this amazing power. As a matter of fact, we are all connected in a way that we can never disconnect from each other, no matter how hard we try. Many have tried disconnecting by creating barriers such as wars caused by prejudices, sexism, racism, and classism. These barriers are created by closed-minded individuals who are blinded by ignorance and fear. It's becoming more and more apparent that these 2 subjects, ignorance and fear, are the most toxic energies in the universe. They stifle relationships. The only way we can disconnect from each other is by creating it in our minds through ignorance and fear. The disconnect syndrome only perpetuates selfishness and greed due to the fear of not having enough for self. Granted, everyone is instilled with a strong drive to survive. However, this drive has been misconstrued and viewed in many ways. Some people work really hard to achieve large sums of money, honoring and staying true to natural survival instincts. However, if we are not careful, this drive can easily turn into greed. You might be familiar with this following statement. Make all the money you can. This is commonly called capitalism, which is another concept justified by honoring the drive to survive. Most people do indeed view those who make a lot of money as leaders and icons in society based on the amount of money they possess. The more money, the more stuff. It is no secret, the more stuff you own, the more respect you get from others in society. The root of this problem lies in the pursuit, the craving, and the overindulgence of the material contents of this physical world. This will continue to occur as long as the majority of the human race perceives this physical world as the real world. That's why I've chosen to call this book The Spiritual Flip-Flop Concept. Materialism has no doubt overshadowed spiritualism. We should never ignore our physical existence, but we also can't deny that this world is in desperate need of a spiritual awakening. We've got to get back on track by opening up to our true essence, by finding a way to return to the spiritual beings we truly are. We know large amounts of money make people feel good, but we must get beyond making large sums of money just for the sake of making money. We know lots of stuff makes people feel good. Does that justify the reason for acquiring more stuff than you will ever need in life? The same goes for the things we put in our bodies. We overindulge, eating things causing adverse reactions, translating as illness. As a result, we end up taking some form of drugs to relieve the discomfort. Some of these drugs create adverse consequences. The unfortunate thing is, the drugs cleverly labeled as medicines don't cure the ailment. They only mask the symptoms temporarily. We ingest medicines creating side effects which the body can't even fight. This is just in reference to drugs that alter the body. Now let's talk about the drugs that alter the mind. Over time, humans have discovered the use of various drugs that indeed alter the mind. This process is known as getting high. It might come from the use of pills, alcohol, herbs, or synthetic homemade brain-frying drugs. Ironically, the highness achieved from drugs and alcohol can be attained through the power of the mind with no side effects. Some may not believe the previous statement, but it is true. We have forgotten our natural ability to create everything we need in life. The feelings we experience from drugs are feelings which our minds are capable of creating naturally, and by the way, much more intensely. My point is this: everything created and experienced in the physical world is only a glimmer of what the spirit world is all about. And every pleasure we create in the physical world is just an attempt to duplicate the energy level of the spirit world. I'm wondering how long it will take for humans to realize that we are living our lives in a backwards manner. Hence, the flip-flop theory. This is the primary reason we are experiencing the wars, the diseases, the chaos and problems of our present day. These problems are created by many issues, greed being one of them. Greed is the desire to earn huge amounts of money to get stuff. As mentioned on pages 8 through 11, the fear of not having enough creates the need to acquire more material things. There's nothing wrong with earning huge amounts of money, but this does not guarantee happiness or peace of mind. The only thing that can guarantee mankind peace and happiness is the tapping into and embracing the true validity of the spirit world. I feel the greed factor alone, with fear and ignorance of spiritual laws, could be the downfall of our nation and our world. We are spirit beings first and foremost, but some of us feel we have become trapped into an existence that will eventually fade away. I realize this is a hard concept to grasp, but we must get back to the real by understanding we are not victims of an illusionary world. That is the only way to stop the wars, the fears, and the ignorance. Let's start the loving through prayers and spiritual enlightenment. This is the message the Christ, the Buddha, and other enlightened guides have tried to relate to every generation down through the ages. To all my fellow humans on the planet, let's reverse the curse and put spiritualism back ahead of materialism. Do it, we'll be fine. This is not an attack on material gain. It's about humans placing too much emphasis on the physical and denying our true spirit essence. We believe we are physical beings, but we must wake up and claim our inheritance as the powerful spiritual beings God intended us to be. In closing, I'd like to say, embracing the physical world is fine, and yes, making lots of money is cool, but unless your ultimate intention is to assist and share it with others, this serves no purpose and it has no spiritual significance in the real world. The end.